What's going on? This is Lauren with the TMF Podcast. You guessed it, Squid Games. But before we get into it, let's hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the dinger on the notification if you'd like to hear more videos from me, myself, personally, and let's hit my intro. All right, Squid Games. Before you watch this video, spoiler alert throughout the video. If you have not seen Squid Games, I will tell you this. It's worth watching. It's worth watching. If you're like me, I found it hard to watch because I don't like the dubs. I don't like English dubs over a different language. It drives me absolutely crazy to know like that guy is not saying that at all. And the accents are just so ridiculous. Like, that's not what they sound like. That drives me crazy. My brain's like, this is not him speaking. It's like a bad over dub. I can't do it. So I had a hard time. I put it on first and I was like, hard pass, and turned it off. And I had to give it a little bit of time. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try watching it again. Maybe I just like try not to listen and watch this. I don't know. It was difficult, but I made it through. So if you're like me, you might have a hard time getting through it just because of that. They say, watch the subtitles. Man, I can't read it. And I'm reading it. And I'm not watching it. I'm going to miss the action. Might as well read a book. That's how I feel about it. But that being said, if you have not watched it, I would probably come back and watch this video after you watch the Squid Games. If you have watched it, let's talk about what happened. It was a moral story. That's what it was. It was a violent moral story about what people will do when they're at the bottom, they're up against a wall, and they're dangled a big way out. Right? Like, what would you do? Would you do anything to immediately change your life? But would you risk everything? Because these people risked everything. They didn't know that when they started the game. They found out very quickly that, this is an all or nothing kind of game. I thought it was cool to do the all of them being kids games, right? Kids games they grew up playing, but with extreme consequence. I thought that was pretty cool. So I was a fan. I was a fan of that. I liked the dynamic of the characters. It was very, common of the Asian culture and the way that they shot it and the characters kind of over the top acting styles and some of it. That's very indicative of just that culture. If it was shot as an American film, it would have been different. I think it would have been more dramatic. But that being said, I did like it. I liked how the characters kind of evolved. You had to pick only a couple. You got 400 people in there. You can't have them all have a piece of the pie here when it comes to being a star. So I think they picked the characters wisely. They had a good melting pot of people that worked well together. And as the show progressed, you liked it. I liked the whole police officer infiltrating the Squid Games, infiltrating in there and his dilemma, trying to figure out what happened to his brother. And then finding out his brother was the front man. That's kind of crazy. And then we saw that they had played this game for years, which was interesting. I thought that it was a good show. I felt like they did a good job. It was a good story. And, when you think about how would you tell that story any different, I don't know. I don't know how I'd tell it different. But it was captivating. You're like, how are they going to make it through this challenge? And you're rooted, you kind of rooted for a good handful of the people to make it out. And you realize, I think for me, I realized at the marble game, like, one person's maybe going to maybe no one makes it out of the Squid Game. Maybe that's the allure. There's all that money, but no one's going to survive. And everyone put a lot of emphasis on the old man. The old man was he's a fun character. What's this old guy doing here? How is he making it this far? And then we thought he's dead. Turns out he's running the show the whole time. And then you got to think, like, could that happen in real life? Definitely. Someone could definitely do that. Now, Mr. Beast is going to run a Mr. Beast game, which who knows what that's going to be. He's recruiting like 100 people to be in his game or something. So that's kind of crazy. But the show was interesting, you know, and especially the aftermath of 456. When the game was over, everyone that he befriended is dead. And keep in mind, they were only in there for like, we can guess, maybe a week. They weren't in there that long. They played like 6 games. So it seemed like a day a game, which they were pretty malnourished. They didn't get a lot of sleep. I don't know how they made it through. Yeah, I'd have been tired and hungry as shit. But when he came out, you know, at the other end, and he's got all the money, it didn't seem like he cared. It seemed like what he'd went through, realized the money doesn't matter. And, you know, he tried to stop the game, and his buddy was like, we out. What was all it for? What would all of it been for if 454 people died, and you get to the last 2, and no one gets anything? Like, what's all that for? So his buddy took the knife way out and just said, you're out, man. You won. It's kind of crazy. And then, you know, it's like he didn't want to spend the money. He wanted answers more than anything else. So we'll see if they do another season of the Squid Game. But it was interesting. You know, I didn't really feel like it was just a show. But cool moral story to it, you know. And the scenes were elaborate. The sets were elaborate. I enjoyed the backstory. So I hope they make another one. I'd be curious to see if the brother died, the cop died. They shot him, he fell in the water, but doesn't mean he died. Could have survived that. Could be out there somewhere. So it'd be interesting. And to see if he goes back. The guy who ran the game is gone, so who takes over the game? Does the 456 become the new guy who runs the game, or does he just try to take over and end the game? What's it going to be? I don't know. I'm interested. I want to find out. So I hope they make another one and follow up on it. And, you know, it might be a year or 2 from now. But if you want some Squid Game merch, you can get it at TMF Apparel on our Etsy page. We got some on there. I'll throw them up on Amazon probably today. And you can order some Squid Game cool shirts. You know, we got some like SpongeBob ones. We got some ones like this one. Whoa, drawn up. So I hope you check those out. And I'll see you on the next video.